Hey, welcome back to the Lock Around the Clock for the playoff edition for the weekend ahead with the divisional round. This is great. We're outside. We're doing this outside because guess what? If the football players are playing outside and the games are being played outside, why don't we make our picks outside? It's all about the weather this week, isn't it? Let's get to the games. First, I'd like to talk about my friends and sponsors at LouDogs.com. Check them out. Also, go to LouDogs.com today. Check it out before the games. It's awesome stuff. Handicapping, free rolls, you name it, they got it. Let's get into the games. First game, New England taking on Baltimore in New England. Look, this is going to be a different game from what we've seen in the past with these two teams, as neither of them are really that great at running the ball, but they do have a passing attack. And at this point, Gronkowski has not played a game against the Baltimore Ravens, who last week incidentally let up a ton of yards and 8 grabs to Heath Miller of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know a lot of it was garbage time. Antonio Brown got his catches in. He went over 100, and they did pass on the Ravens. But that was all they had going. The running game was nothing in Baltimore, and they were actually very lucky that Le'Veon Bell wasn't playing for Pittsburgh. Could have been a completely different game. Look for New England to lay the wood, lay the 7, take New England. That is my first pick. Second pick, we're only going with winners. I'm giving you winners. Second pick is tomorrow night. We got Denver laying 7 against the Colts in Mile High. Denver is going back to the Super Bowl. I see them going back to the championship game, and I see them going past Indianapolis. Indianapolis, yeah, they look good. They look great at home. And they played against the team in Cincinnati that had put up no yardage. It's going to be a completely different thing here in Mile High with, yes, Peyton Manning at the helm as opposed to Andy Dalton, who didn't have A.J. Green or any of his weapons. Peyton Manning's got a week off. He's rested. They're at home. He's got all of his weapons. And they got C.J. Anderson, who's going to tear up that Indianapolis defense on the road. Look for Denver minus the 7. Those are my 2 locks for the weekend. You want my opinions? I'll give you my opinions. Seattle minus 11 against Carolina at home. 2 very similar teams, 2 very similar somewhat defenses, a little bit more on the rookie side for Carolina, but they've been playing great in the second half of the year. They got into the playoffs with a crappy record. 11 points is way too much for them to be giving up here, as Carolina does have equally a decent offense compared to Seattle, and I think they're going to hold Marshawn Lynch in check somewhat. Take the 11, take Carolina. That's my opinion in that game. Green Bay laying the 5.5 to Dallas. Dallas is a little banged up on the defensive end. McLean is probably not going to be playing tomorrow. Look for Eddie Lacy to tear it up and keep this game out of control for the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately. They will be using Eddie Lacy as the Cowboys would like to be using DeMarco Murray for the game, but it's not going to happen. Plus, the Green Bay Packers defense has been playing much better this second half. Completely different team than we saw earlier. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that thigh is going to be bothering him. Let's put it this way. The Green Bay Packers have just a little bit too much on offense for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys stop here. That's my opinion. Until next week when we go 2-0 with the New England Patriots and Denver Broncos, we'll take it next week into the championship games. Until then, you take it easy.